I started running in high school when I believe I was 16 years old. It all started with that PE mile in gym class that we all had to run. I ended up running with one of the guys on the cross country team, and I really surprised the PE coach, and from there I was forced to run cross country, and that's when everything started. When I first started running in high school, I really didn't know much about running. I didn't know that people ran marathons. I didn't know about the half marathon. The only community that I had was my track and cross country team. So typically in track, you have more of that team environment. And so I was able to, I guess you can say, build, that team atmosphere. For track, my senior year, we qualified for state in the 4x8 relay. So there's 4 of us that competed, and I would say that was the best type of, I guess, team atmosphere, team dynamics that I got to experience. Back in 2018, I was training for a marathon while I was running professionally for the Hansons Brooks Distance Project. So they are an Olympic development team. And while I was there, all you do is run. So I was trying to find something else to do. And training and the different training philosophies is something I've always been interested in doing. So I decided to give coaching a try. I was already coaching some friends, and it was going well. I got things started simply by creating just a Facebook and Instagram account, and the rest was history, man. It just kept growing and growing, and to this day, RunnersFix is the biggest it's ever been. My name's Jon Mott. I'm based here in Lakeland, Florida. I've been living here for about the last 6 years or so, and I am the coach and owner of RunnersFix coaching service, which is also based here in Lakeland. I was trying to find a sport that I would be good at, and I experimented. I did baseball, soccer, I even did bowling, but eventually I ran cross country and track in high school my junior and senior year, and then it earned me a scholarship just to a small NAIA school based in Florida as well, Weber International University. I competed there for 5 years. I got an extra year of eligibility after redshirting, and then after I graduated, that's when my pro career took off. I made that next big step in my running, and I've qualified for 3 Olympic trials in the marathon. So LA in 2016, Atlanta 2020, and then Orlando in 2024. I've also had the privilege to compete in some of the world majors as a professional, so Boston, Berlin, and Chicago, and actually was a top 20 finisher in Chicago. I have a marathon PR of 2:17. My fastest was at Berlin in 2023, where I was 33rd overall. So typically when it comes to goal setting with my runners, they'll come to me and they will have a goal of breaking 3 hours for the marathon, for example. So I'm gonna wanna know what their starting point is. Let's say they have a 3:10 marathon PR, so that's gonna be a pretty big jump. So we are gonna set the training up based on their current fitness, so as a 3:10 runner. And then we're just gonna see how the training goes. So it's something that I do is I keep an eye on my runners and what they're doing each week. So if they're doing a big marathon pace session and they're under the paces that I prescribe, then they're making progress towards that sub-3 goal. I would say I deal with a lot of first-time runners. So they'll come to me, they have these goals, but they've never actually run before. They have no idea what they're doing. So a lot of the times, they'll see the schedule and it'll just frighten them. But the one thing that I always notice is that these runners can just jump straight into it, and the progress is, I love seeing the progress. Those are my favorite runners to coach because it just keeps coming and coming. So when it comes to strength training, I believe that its main purpose is for injury prevention, and the getting stronger part is only the added bonus. So when I prescribe my strength training schedules, it's very simple. It's very lightweight body weight exercises. It's just there to help prevent injury. We don't want to take away from the training itself. The one thing that I'm not a big fan of runners going hard in the gym and then they can't hit their next long run, for example. Part of my strength routine that I prescribe, so I have my runners do strength work twice per week, but I have a bunch of exercises in there where we incorporate band work or resistance band work. So I've always believed that those have been best for injury prevention, so things like hip mobility drills, for example. So as a coach, it's pretty much impossible to avoid injuries. Well, I would say a lot of the times when I have a runner that is injured, they're always worried that they're going to lose all of their fitness and their training cycle is going to be a waste. But for example, if we have a runner that misses a week of training, they're going to be starting back up thinking that everything, that their race is just done with. But it's every time they always surprise themselves on how quickly they're able to get back in shape. So I was looking forward to this question, and it was like, I could say shoes, it could be a GPS watch, for example, but those are too simple. What I love are my compression boots. They have Normatec compression boots for recovery. I don't do too many recovery techniques and methods myself, but these recovery boots are amazing. I definitely recommend them. The awesome thing about the VO2 platform is that I can see everything that my runners are doing. I can see all of the data, all their paces, their heart rate data, the distances, everything. So I can see what they're doing, and based on their training, I can help them set goals for their races. So when it comes to my runners and the communication, one of the things that I like to try to be is very encouraging, very motivating. So if I have a runner that, for example, had just did a long run and it was a tough run for them, it was like all of their confidence, I guess you can say, going into their, the next week of training or the next race is gonna be completely shot, I guess you could say. But a lot of the times what I'll try to do is I will try to have them look at the training as a whole. This one session here is not going to make a difference with what has happened with the training so far. So I would say I do a really good job keeping my runners motivated, keeping their confidence up, things like that. RunnersFix is based here in Lakeland, and I would say I coach more than 50% of my runners are based here. It's definitely a little community, I would say even little micro groups that we have formed. So I have my faster runners, my sub-3 runners, they're gonna be running Houston next week. They've been doing all of their training together. And I also have my 2-hour half marathon runners. There's a huge group of women, and they just have that community, they have that friendship. And I've had runners come to me and say that, in a way, I've saved their lives. They've had nothing, and I've introduced them to my runners, to the Lakeland Runners Club, a few thousand members. And yeah, I would say Lakeland itself probably has one of the best running communities, probably in the state for sure. I've been a part of the Lakeland Runners Club since I moved here, so I think it's 6 years now, and I've been involved with their board. I've been a race director for some of their races. So I'm definitely really involved myself, and the community here, RunnersFix, is a main part of this running community. Oh, if you want to talk about my running, so I ran in the Olympic trials 1 year ago in Orlando, and then I technically retired, and that lasted just a few months, and I wanted to get back to it. So over the summer, I kept dealing with injuries and it kept taking me out. I was supposed to run Chicago in the fall, but that didn't work out. But now I'm just starting to get into a rhythm with my training now. This week I'm on track to run actually 130 miles this week. And if things continue to go well, I'm gonna jump into just a local half marathon, just as a rust buster, you can say, because I haven't raced in a while. And then if that goes well, we're gonna start my build up to the London Marathon. So that's at the end of April. It will be my 4th world major, and yeah, I'd say top 25, top 30 would be an awesome finish. So.